This program was brought to you by Heineken and PlayStation, UEFA Champions League sponsors.
Three defeats from three, Shakhtar Donetsk looking to recover from the brink of elimination. And history makers, we remember Newcastle United's incredible achievement of 13 years ago.
I wouldn't say that Bate are just a special club in the story of my career. They are a special club full stop. They're a young club, but are very ambitious. And the rate of growth at Bate Borisov, honestly, I've rarely come across anything like it. In fact, I've probably never come across a club like this.
I was born in this city, and of course I dreamt of playing for Bate since I was a child. So when I got into the team, I can honestly say that I fulfilled my lifelong dream. I have a lot of friends here who come to the stadium to support me and the team.
Since making their competition debut in 2008, Bate Borisov have had a special relationship with the UEFA Champions League. The only club from Belarus to have ever reached the group stage, the team from a small city 75 kilometres northeast of Minsk have made their mark this season too, defeating AS Roma on matchday 2. A memorable night for the club.
In our team talk before that game with Roma, we were told that football makes the impossible possible. And we understood clearly that this wasn't something completely unrealistic. And if the situation went well for us and we were trying to win, then we could surprise anybody in the Champions League. And that is exactly what happened on that night. The 48th minute was the breaking point, and I think after that, the chances of a positive outcome for us started to disappear.
Barcelona are a team capable of punishing you for the smallest of mistakes. And in the second half, they pressed us relentlessly. We didn't manage to create many chances going forward, but we'll learn from that, and we'll try to perform better in the return game.
On matchday 4, the Zolto Sinier face Barcelona, with qualification to the knockout phase for the first time still possible. The game at Camp Nou will offer Bate Borisov the opportunity to write another chapter in their history, as Alexander Hleb returns to the club with whom he lifted this trophy in 2009.
Playing at Camp Nou is unbelievably tough, and your chances of picking up any points incredibly slim. But we'll do everything we can to play our best. That's what football is all about.
Everyone understands it will be even harder than the match at the Borisov Arena. But at the same time, if you can't stand the heat, you should get out of the kitchen. We're in this festival of football, and we'll do everything possible to be more than just observers.
The UEFA Champions League's top scorers take on the competition's joint worst defence as Leverkusen travel to Rome. Roma's collapse in Germany on matchday 3 cost them 2 vital points. Rudi Garcia's side remain winless and bottom of Group E. Leverkusen have found the net 9 times in their 3 games so far, with new signing Javier Hernandez scoring 3.
Group H leaders Zenit are the only side with a 100% record in the competition. A win for the Russians away in Lyon will guarantee their place in the last 16, as Hulk hopes to continue his good form in front of goal. The French side's fortunes could hardly be more contrasting. Lyon have reached the midpoint of the group stage without a win for the first time, and Hubert Fournier's side are 8 points behind their opponents.
Three points behind the Russian side in second are Valencia. Back-to-back wins have helped them recover from an opening defeat to the leaders, and they travel to Ghent knowing that 3 points could see them into the knockout phase. Defeat for the Belgians would see them eliminated in their debut season. Coach Hein van Hezenbroek has said his side are now focusing on the battle for third.
Arsenal's victory over Bayern last time out was the perfect response to losing their opening 2 games. But Arsene Wenger's men are still joint bottom of Group F as they continue their quest for a 16th consecutive knockout phase appearance. Defeat in London ended Bayern's 100% start to the season. The German champions have failed to win the last 2 times they've hosted Arsenal. But Pep Guardiola can now call upon the fit again, Arjen Robben.
Olympiacos host Dinamo Zagreb in Group F's other fixture, with the odds stacked in the home side's favour. The Greek champions have won 6 of their last 7 UEFA Champions League games at home. Whilst Dinamo haven't won a group stage match outside of Croatia since 1998, defeat in Piraeus would leave them on the brink of yet another early exit.
2 sides with identical records of 4 points, 4 goals scored and 4 conceded face off in Group B as CSKA Moscow travel to Manchester United. Louis van Gaal's team are yet to impress on their UEFA Champions League return, but could go top with a win. United have only ever won once in 8 fixtures against Russian opposition. CSKA boasts the informed Seydou Doumbia, who has 3 goals so far in the group stage. On the Ivorian's last 2 visits to Manchester, he scored 4 times against United's rivals, City.
Eredivisie champions last season, PSV Eindhoven have returned to the UEFA Champions League after a 7-year absence. And on the European stage, they've been giving youth its chance. In Group B, they've already fielded 10 players aged 23 or younger.
You see that a lot in the Netherlands. Many young players coming through the ranks and being given the chance to develop. You're allowed the time and space to make a few mistakes. That's the situation and why many young players emerge and eventually take another step and play abroad. And you can see that at PSV as well. Lots of young players are coming through the academy, and I think that's very positive.
PSV's coach, Philippe Cocu, was born in Eindhoven and made 259 appearances for the club as a player, captaining them to the UEFA Champions League semi-finals a decade ago. Now in his 3rd season at the helm, he's leading the club's resurgence.
I think his role is important, because we have so many young players here, and we're not always the easiest lads to handle. When you're young, you have your own opinions, and sometimes in football, not everything goes the way you want it to. That's when it's important to have someone who's patient and gives you a chance to show that you can perform next time.
After consecutive European defeats, PSV are bottom of Group B with 3 points. However, their victory over Manchester United on match day 1 is a warning to Wolfsburg, who travel to Eindhoven on Tuesday.
Every team feels more confident playing at home and being supported by their own fans. As a player, you feel motivated to make the fans happy. And I think that if we are to achieve our objective of qualifying for the next round, then our fans here will be very important. Anyone who starts playing football dreams of playing in this competition. And being in it with PSV is even more special, because the club hasn't been in the Champions League for a while. So people are very excited, and we want to perform well. Let's hope we can give people a lot of satisfaction. It's a very attractive competition.
It's a competition that PSV won 27 years ago, and the club's illustrious history is documented in the PSV Museum, which opened in 2013 to celebrate their 100-year anniversary.
PSV's golden year was 1988 when we won the treble. Special memorabilia can be found here. There's Barry Van Aal's jersey from the final and the shirt we wore during the celebrations. Our most cherished possession, the cup with the big ears, is over here. We won it against Benfica with a penalty save by Hans van Breukelen.
PSV's current stars can draw inspiration from their glorious past. The challenge is to write their own chapter in European football history.
The first objective is to qualify for the next round. That's our big target and what we expect currently. Then in the knockout phase over 2 legs, anything can happen. If you play well at home, you can eliminate any team. We'll see. But the important thing for us right now is to make it into the next round.
Still to come, ahead of their crucial matchday 4 fixture, we're in Ukraine with Shakhtar Donetsk. Bottom plays top in Group D as Borussia Mönchengladbach host last season's finalists Juventus. The German side have only 1 point, but performances have improved since André Schubert took over as interim head coach. With only a solitary goal after 3 games, though, they may struggle to break down a Juventus side that have only conceded 1 goal. Massimiliano Allegri's men could reach the last 16 with a win.
That, however, would require Manchester City taking all 3 points in Seville. A daunting task, as the Spanish side have won their last 10 home games in Europe. City too can reach the knockout phase if results go their way. They head into the game with a 3-point advantage over Los Rojiblancos.
Maccabi Tel Aviv's Group G campaign hasn't got going. The Israeli champions have the joint worst record. Another defeat could mean the end of Slavisha Jakanovic's side, but he's called on his players to win their final 3 games. The visitive leaders Porto will be a tough start. Julen Lopetegui's men are undefeated and have striker Vincent Aboubakar in imperious form.
In Group G's other encounter, Chelsea host a Dynamo Kiev side currently 1 point ahead of them in second. Jose Mourinho's team are struggling domestically, but despite their troubles, have lost only 1 of their last 11 UEFA Champions League games. Dynamo, meanwhile, have failed to win any of their previous 12 fixtures in England, a run the Ukrainians may have to bring to an end if they're to reach the knockout phase for the first time in 16 years.
FC Astana have experienced a tough debut in the UEFA Champions League. Bottom of Group C with just 1 point, defeat at home by Atletico Madrid could see their campaign over with 2 matches still to play. Atleti found their attacking stride with 4 goals against the Kazakhstani champions last time out. They now sit joint top with Benfica, but are likely to find the going tougher in Astana.
Galatasaray's victory against Benfica ended a run of 10 winless UEFA Champions League games. Lucas Podolski's winner took his team to within 2 points of their opponents and Atletico at the top of Group C. Benfica have reached the knockout phase once in the last 7 attempts, but do have Nicolas Gaitan. The Argentine is the only player to score in all 3 games this season.
Round 2 of Group A's heavyweight clash could see either PSG or Real Madrid through to the knockout phase. The winner at El Bernabeu will progress if Malmö lose to Shakhtar. But the pair couldn't be separated in a goalless draw in Paris on matchday 3. Neither team have conceded in this season's competition, and Real's scoreless display at the Parc des Princes was their first in 41 group stage games. Given the attacking talent on show, it would be a surprise to see a repeat in Madrid.
Taras Stepanenko.
Eduardo.
Shakhtar Donetsk.
Shakhtar Donetsk.
Shakhtar are a top club in Ukraine. We consistently participate in the Champions League and always have the highest targets. In Ukraine, it's an honor to play for this club and to defend our badge and our colors.
Everyone knows that Shakhtar are a big European club. Year after year, for decades now, we've played in the biggest competitions, like the Champions League.
At present, their players live and train in the Ukrainian capital Kiev, 700 kilometers from Donetsk. Home matches are played a further 600 kilometers west in Lviv, meaning Shakhtar's situation remains uncertain. However, despite facing some of Europe's toughest sides in Group A, few at the club expected this. At the halfway point, Shakhtar are winless and goalless.
We're lacking something, and we also haven't had luck on our side. Of course, we're playing against big teams like PSG and Real Madrid, but nevertheless, some of the goals that we've conceded have been sloppy. And going forward, we've not been able to take our chances yet. I can't remember the last time we've not managed to score a single goal after 3 matches in the Champions League. But that's life, and you have to move on.
A 1-0 defeat against Malmö on matchday 3 was a hugely disappointing result for Shakhtar Donetsk, leaving them firmly at the bottom of Group A.
I think that they had a bit more determination than us. They were very well prepared physically. Unfortunately, we weren't able to win that match. But we will have another opportunity, and it will be a totally different game this time against Malmö. I really hope we can win that match.
If they lose to Malmö in Lviv on Tuesday, then they're out of the competition. And yet, despite the results and their troubled times off the pitch, the team remain positive.
Let's not dream. First, we have to beat Malmö at home. That's very important, because if we don't win, then there'll be almost no hope, even for the Europa League.
We always have to think about getting to the next stage. In 2011, we reached the quarter-finals of the UEFA Champions League, our best finish in the competition. We have to use that as inspiration. Take things slowly, match by match, and who knows, maybe one day we can surprise the whole of Europe.
With Shakhtar's qualification in the balance, they can still find inspiration for an improbable reversal of fortunes. 13 years ago, Newcastle United became the only team ever to progress after losing their first 3 group games.
We went to Kiev. It was never going to be an easy game. We played Feyenoord at home, and you're looking at that game thinking potentially that's a game that we can win. Unfortunately, we got beat. We went to Juventus and got beat 2-0, but it was a good performance.
In the 2002-03 season, Newcastle's poor start in Group E meant they went into their matchday 4 game at home to Juventus, knowing they had to win.
We had a very young team, a very inexperienced team, apart from the likes of Gary Speed, Steve Harper and Alan Shearer. Everyone else was, I think, early 20s. So we went into that game. Confidence was a little bit low because of the first 3 games, but with Bobby Robson as your manager, you know, he motivated us very well, and we went out and performed.
Andy Griffin, a 23-year-old right-back, was the unlikely hero for Newcastle that evening. Having kept the Italian giants at bay for an hour, Griffin scored a crucial winning goal.
It wasn't a classic goal. I'd love to be sitting here and say, you know, it was a 35-yard screamer, kind of Steven Gerrard-esque. It certainly wasn't. We had a free kick, I think it was not far from the corner flag, and Laurent Robert saw me on the edge of the box, Why on earth he played the ball to me, I'm not quite sure. And I took a touch, managed to go around a defender, and then I remember kind of having to overstretch, and I just thought, just get it across the box. And it was just ecstasy, it was unbelievable. Definitely one of the best moments of my career. When you've got to kind of calm down, try not to get carried away, because I think there was about 35 minutes left of the game to play. I think had a lot of possession, created a lot of half chances, and then they hit the crossbar with about maybe 5 or 6 minutes to go, and then you're thinking, well, maybe it is our night, because they've not got the shooting boots on, things aren't going for them, and yeah, it stayed at 1-0. If you look at the win, it installed a huge belief into a very young team.
Victory over Dynamo Kiev on match day 5 was followed by their final game away to Feyenoord. Needing all 3 points, the visitors were 2 goals up after 49 minutes.
You're cruising really without trying to take anything for granted, and then all of a sudden it's 2-1, and then it's 2-2. I mean, and they've got all the momentum, so you're looking at it thinking, well, it's only going to go one way.
Heading into injury time, it looked like Bobby Robson's side were going to fall agonisingly short.
A little bit of magic by, I think it was Kieran Dyer, manages to get his shot off. The goalkeeper produced a great save, but Craig Bellamy, sharp as ever, he's onto it and slots home the winner, and we end up winning 3-2. So I mean, we were just ecstatic. It was unbelievable. It was a roller coaster, really. So to go from losing your first 3 games to then winning your next 3 with a young Newcastle team at that time, it was magical. It was incredible.
So on Tuesday, Real Madrid, PSG, Juventus and Manchester City can all qualify as Groups A to D take centre stage. And on Wednesday, it's Groups E to H as Barcelona, Valencia and Zenit aim to secure their places in the round of 16.
Next week, a Bayern legend, and he's still only 26, Thomas Müller.
This programme was brought to you by Heineken.